folks. All right, folks. I have 8 of these bad boys here to replace. 4 on this side. There's 3 here and 4 on the other side. I have started on one of them. It's all framed out. I'm doing it this way because I just don't have the money to pay somebody to do it. And even this, rough guesstimate to replace all 8, reframe it, and put these ribs on. These ribs come in strips that I have attached to the wood. And it'll come down low so you will see what the strips look like. As you can see, they just sit on top of the wood, and I screw them down to the wood. Now, in some cases, I understand they do have like foam strips, and that will help prevent vibration when the wind blows. But I will be screwing the glass, which will be these here. It's actually plastic sheeting, corrugated sheeting. I will be screwing on top of this. Now, someone I know from Trinidad said they sometimes use these, but it don't last long because of the heat. We do have some high temperature weeks or maybe months up in this area. This is in the Philadelphia area, Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. So I hope they will survive a few years until I can get situated to put something else on this roof. But right now, this is all I can afford. I've guesstimated this to be, by the time I've done with all 8, I would have spent around $3,000 to $4,000. Okay, I have to add up the cost of this one when I'm done and see exactly, get a closer guesstimate of it. It might not be that much. That's including the wood, the reframing of it as it is. This was reframed about maybe 6-7 years ago, just around the edges. And this is what came off of it. This mess here, as old as the building. Maybe, I would guess, maybe close to 100 years old. But it lasted. You cannot find these reinforced glass that have wires in them now, and a lot of these things were cracked, as you can see, which was letting a lot of water in. All right, cover it with plastic temporarily. As you can see, the plastic stayed up here a little bit too long and decomposed. All broke up. But anyway, moving right along, I think I may have to go and get some other pieces because I'm not quite sure how to seal off the top portion. So I put a strip of wood there, and I will put the plastic right up against that piece and then seal it with silicone or something or the other. Now I'm gonna have to go and get some double-sided tape to run along the length of these. These here are gonna be overlapped 2 sections. And if I run double-sided tape along it here and then press it down, that will prevent dust and little teeny creatures crawling in. And that will also serve as holding those pieces together a little bit more, even though screws will be going in. All right, that's my story, and it's sticking to me. Okay, here we go. 4 pieces are down. I just have to close off this end over here, which I will do pretty soon. And as you can see here, I spaced the screws out. I didn't put one on the very end because what I'm thinking I'm gonna do is fold this over like that with some silicone up in here and put a screw in the side this way. All right, and that should seal that. If I don't do it this way, they have some strips to go on the end to seal it. But underneath that, I did put some torch down and put that over the wood, and I'll put this over there. This torch down is put wide enough, and you have to do this right so it will stick properly. Usually I melt it enough, and when I walk on it, apply pressure, it squeezes out from the edges. If I don't see any squeeze, any of the melted material coming out, I will lift it back up and heat it up again. But if you're not accustomed to using torch down, don't try it this way. I'm sure there's something better you can use to do this job. All right, it is much longer than I need, but once I'm done, I will scribe a line over here and cut it. Excuse the fire engine. I believe that's the fire engine, yes. Another thing, when you're putting these screws in, these are special screws made for this. All right, they're self-tapping. You don't need to pre-drill because they will cut through this themselves. Once you start screwing it will cut through this. Make sure, and they also have a cap washer here, and underneath that it's like a gasket, a rubber gasket that helps seal this. But with the silicone underneath this, you need to screw this down just enough so this plastic material will come in contact with the humps in this, but not compress it too much and flatten it. Okay, I'm gonna carry on with the job. That's my little drill up there. What happened, the socket I was using, I didn't pick up a good one and it stripped. Okay, and so what I did, I actually locked the head of this in the chuck of the drill, and that works pretty good. All right, folks, this is what I mean when I said lock it in there. I put the head of the screw in the chuck up in there, and then I tighten it up in there, and that will hold it in place so I can use it like that. All right? A couple of things, rather. When you're putting these screws in, make sure they go in perpendicular to the wood and not at an angle, because the caps would never seal properly. Okay, so make sure you go straight down into it and do not crush this little hump. And make sure you do not put any screws down in the valley. That's where the water gonna run. You have more chance of leaks if you put it down in the valley. Okay, this is down here. What I'm gonna have to do is mark this off tomorrow, right along here, and I will trim it down. Remove this piece, I don't need that. I want a little overhang until I figure out whether I'm gonna just heat this up and form it to here, down to here, and put a screw in the side this way, not straight down, but in the side that way, with little silicone around it, even though the cap, the screw has its own washer. And that should take care of it. Up top there, I'm gonna heat that extra material out and lay it down. What I wanted to do is have enough of it so when I heat it up, it will lay on top of here, right on top of here like this. Okay, heat this up and it will fold them and lay right on top of here. Cannot apply heat to this, all right? And if I had left enough on and tackle it that way, then I could take one of these little pieces. I will show you that tomorrow when I buy some new ones. Take one of these little pieces, put it on top, and press it down, and it will form this, the roofing material into the groove. And that should take care of it this way. But I'm sure they have proper things to go on the end to cap the ends. I have for the bottom end, and I could have also used it on the top end, this here. Okay, I will slide it. Once I cut the excess off of here, I will slide this underneath to seal it. Okay, if you notice, I have not put any screws in this section here. That will be done later. folks. God bless. Stay safe.